I'd like to start out this meditation just to get kind of a visual. Start us out with a visual orientation and then move into a non-visual orientation. So this is called the six elements meditation. And the six are, the first one is earth. Right? Get a sense of what we mean by earth. And actually, we're not so much thinking earth in terms of the globe as much as the land, the ground, right? The earth element. And these elements that I'll list, these six elements, are all a part of who we are. And the water element is the next one. We may not be close to a large body of water, or maybe a creek or a river, but every time we go into the bathroom, we're confronted with water. The faucet, the toilet, shower, and that's also part of us. The third element is fire, and the heat element, that which gives us warmth in our body. The flames, the sun. Without the sun, we wouldn't be alive. So to have that fire element is also part of who we are. We're fire. Air, the air that we take in every breath, that's a part of us as well. And then the fifth one is the space element. And by this, I don't mean necessarily the stars, but the space between stars or the space between galaxies. Space is also what makes us up. So all of these first five elements are all aspects of what it means to be a human being. All of these elements we can find in our own body, in the cells, even between the atoms that make our physical body up. There's lots of space. It seems like we're solid, but if we look closer through a microscope, we see a lot of space between the atoms. And the last one is consciousness. Kind of trying to figure out what would be a good image for consciousness. And I'm not sure this particular image is the best one, but it's, I think it might be helpful. See all of those concentric circles. In a sense, our awareness or consciousness isn't something that just resides in the head. And I think that is, at least according to Buddhist thought, consciousness doesn't just reside in the brain. But when we hear the word consciousness, I think we're often thinking of how our brain works. Certainly our brain has a function in it, but without the rest of our body, consciousness wouldn't be. So consciousness, and from a Buddhist angle, awareness is not something that is just directed in one place. Right? Awareness, I think, circles. If we can consider ourselves as at the center of all these concentric circles, our awareness goes around us. So aware of our physical environments, also aware of our relationships in our family, aware of the wider relationships in our neighborhood, in our state, in our country, in other countries, on the earth, all of the species, and the outermost rings being the universe itself. So those are the 6 elements. And so I just want to get you get a sense of the visual of that. And see if we can kind of, now we're going to just turning that off and see if we can turn instead of looking outwards at what these 6 elements are, just going to turn our perception inwards and see if we can recognize those 6 elements inside of us, in our own body, in our own being, right? So let's see if you're ready. When you're ready, we'll begin to consider these 6 from a contemplative or a meditative perspective. And I invite you at any time to lay down if you want to. You can lie down. You could do this, or you could do this sitting up. The main thing is that you feel a sense of comfort in yourself. You feel comfortable. So once you so take a few moments here to find a way of being that you feel you're okay with. Okay, and the first exercise is to become aware of your physical body and to smile to your physical body. Aware of my body and smiling to my body. So getting a sense of our muscles, our tissues, our bones. It's that kind of awareness of our body. And if you'd like, you could kind of give yourself a little smile, just a kind of recognition of your own body. Just as you would greet a person that you enjoy being around with a smile and a handshake or something like that, to greet your body in that way. And if it's helpful for this, you're more than welcome to use, to close your eyes. You don't have to have them open. Getting a sense of our body, my body, smiling to it. And the Buddha gave instructions we could look at our body in 2 ways. One is from the inside. It's kind of the feeling of our body. The other is from the outside. And in that case, perhaps opening your eyes and seeing your body, like looking, this is my body. Okay. So let's just take a moment to kind of recognize our body as a way to establish mindfulness or awareness. And anytime you recognize your body, that's all we're doing. That's the practice. Recognizing our body, however that might appear to you. Okay, the next exercise is to become aware of the element of earth, the earth element, and to smile to that earth element. So as we consider our body, earth element is that solid part, the bones. It's kind of getting a sense of your bones, your skeletal structure. Minerals that are in rocks and boulders are also the minerals that are in our bones. Just kind of getting a sense of that connection between earth or dirt or rocks and our body. And anytime we can recognize that on a deep level or on just even a not deep level, that's itself the practice, just recognizing that, seeing it with our own eyes. And if it helps to look at your body and maybe recognize the form that it takes, then seeing the nails on your fingers, the hardness. This next one may be perhaps less abstract. This is the water element. You may consider how often you have used water today in some way, either through drinking or bathing, washing. You consider the sources of water, the tap, the ocean, the sky. And the water that is in us has been to all those places. And the next element is the fire element, element of fire. It's the heat in our bodies. Whatever it is that generates heat in our bodies is the same thing that generates the heat in a fire, like a campfire, or the heat that's given off from the sun. Or the fire that's in the center of the earth. That's also in us, that fire. You may wish to locate this physically in your body at your core. Some systems some philosophical systems call this the abdomen region, the digestive fires, right? We need heat to burn up the fuel that we put into us. And so the fire in our body, maybe we could pinpoint it to the digestion area. We talk about burning calories. The next element is the air element. Every breath we take, we're in touch with the air element. The individual breath that we take is part of a larger body of air that connects us all. Wherever you are, we're breathing from the same continuous air. That air element helps to connect us with all other creatures that take in air. Humans and animals, plants. And a thin layer of air that exists between the solid earth and the atmosphere. Protecting us from space, which is the next element. Space is the next element. The distance between galaxies and stars, planets, is immense. And this one might be more tricky to see inside of us. But if we go down to the microscopic level, we might notice it more. There's tremendous space between the protons and the electrons in our body. While we appear to be solid, there's also a lot of space inside of us. Quantum physicists tell us there's 99% space. Less than 1% is other elements. The last one is consciousness. This is referring to our ability to put our awareness on an object, as we've been doing this whole meditation. Without consciousness, we wouldn't be able to recognize the other elements. Consciousness contains all the other elements. As we've been meditating on these elements, Consciousness has been involved. So to consider reflecting, consciousness reflecting on itself. At this time, we're just simply reflecting. We're using consciousness to reflect on itself. Consciousness becoming aware of itself. Okay, and then let's consider the earth element containing the other 5 elements. The earth element within us containing within it the other 5 elements. So now we're shifting our awareness to focusing on one element, to focusing on all 6 at the same time through one element. In the one, there is 6 or 5. In earth is the other 5 elements. Let's shift our awareness to the water element. In the water element is the other 5. Water contains in it the other 5 elements. And the last, perhaps one more, just centering in on the fire element in us. The fire element contains all the other 5 elements. Fire contains water, earth, air, space, and consciousness. That closes this meditation.